We are live and
What is up?
waiting for people to enter the room. Hopefully,
Anyone in the future watching this as it's uploaded, hello. What is
there's
up?
somebody. Somebody just came in.
Alright. I noticed that too, like when I go live, if I schedule, like people will have it set to where it notifies them, but mainly when I go live.
Yeah, I think I did it too far ahead. That's what I think I did.
I hear it. Hold up.
We got a couple in here now.
Okay, I had to mute. I had the stream opened and I was getting very confused because I heard you and me. Okay. Alright, I'm
Okay.
good now.
All right. All right. So I don't know who all's here. Everything's kind of acting weird tonight, but we got Nickolas Green with us tonight, and I've been excited about this, man. Talked to him the other day for a little while, and anyway, we're gonna get started. Anybody's got any questions, you're welcome to ask anytime you want. I'll try to highlight them when I can, stick them up on the screen. And anyway, so you got anything you want to say before we start?
Huh? I don't know.
Other than I spelt your name wrong?
I could talk someone's ear off, so yeah, you guys will notice with me, usually one thing leads to like 3 other topics I talk about, but
That's good, because I don't like struggling when we're doing lives. And a lot of people, you ask questions, and they're just like, yeah, no, yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Well,
yesterday.
yeah, I've probably done that a few rare times. Ozarks, Woodsman Stories, and more. What is up?
All right, there he's the one that helps me out in here. He posts the link,
Oh, okay.
and if you can post Nicholas's link too. By the way, I've already said it, but I spelled his name wrong. He brought that to my attention, kind of chewed me out for it and hurt my feelings.
I did.
I'm just kidding.
No, that's like I have so many people have spelled it like that, and like it auto corrects too. Like if you're
Yeah.
typing Nick, it'll
Uh-huh.
put the ch first before it does ck.
Yeah.
But
I usually don't even text with my fingers. I usually just say it.
I
And
thought of changing my channel name to Nick Green Outdoors, so then it's not
yeah.
like the extra, because everyone in person calls me Nick. Like no one says Nickolas.
Okay.
So I was thinking of changing it. It'd be
So you
easier.
won't be offended if we call you Nick.
No. No.
Okay. All right. So the first thing I wanted to ask you about is your GED. You said last time you were on here, you recently passed your GED test.
Yeah.
And congratulations on that, first off. That's amazing.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I know like it's not really a huge deal. Like I know it is, but like for me personally, it was just because I doubted like myself for a while. But actually, just yesterday, I had my first ever job interview at a big factory, and they said it would take a week to get back to me. Well, they actually called me this morning, and they already hired me. So
Oh, wow.
I'll be working 12-hour shifts, and I'll have about 10 free days every month to do YouTube on still. So that's good. But yeah,
Yeah.
I got the GD, and now I've already got a job lined up. So that's the
That's
thing is
awesome.
like I can still do YouTube. Like since
Yeah.
I'll be working 12-hour shifts, it's 5 days, then I think 3 or 4 days, then 5. So I'll be able
So
to.
did you homeschool or did you go to public school and quit? Or
So I went from kindergarten to 9th grade in public school, and then from 9th grade to 11th I was in cyber, and cyber's where it kind of all come down. And
okay.
I really shouldn't even say 11th. Like it's probably halfway through 11th is what I did in cyber. And then a few years went by, and now just this year I got the GED. But yeah, it's just a lot of changes. I've been in like a hole where I haven't done much, and that's the way I am. Like I will start doing YouTube more. Even if I'm super busy with like a normal job,
Right.
I already know that like once I'm in a routine, I just keep like I do a lot. So yeah.
Well, I know you say it's not that big of a deal, really, but I think to me, something like that is really awesome. I don't think I could pass a GED. I mean, I went through school and I graduated, but I don't think today I could pass a GED. I
It
really
was
don't.
it was harder than I thought it would be, mainly because I struggle. So I did social studies, I did literature, and I did science online, and I did that on the computer. Well, I was super nervous the whole time because you have a time limit. Someone's watching you through your camera. You can't see
Oh
them, but
wow.
they're watching you. If you look away off your screen, they fail you.
Oh man.
Uh, you can't read out loud. And me personally, like, if I'm reading something online and I have to learn it, I have to read it like to myself out loud, kind of. I couldn't
Uh-huh.
do that. And then when I read on a screen, I have a hard time because I like cross the words and I'll try to read something and everything conjoins. I'm just like, but yeah, I mean, it was more difficult than I thought it was. I didn't just barely pass, like I did decent, so I'm happy with that. But like I didn't think I was gonna get, you know,
Yeah.
remotely near passing. But yeah.
I've got back in my day, they didn't call it ADHD, but that's exactly what I got. And mine is real
Yeah.
bad with numbers. I mix my numbers up, and even at work, I mean, it's almost daily. And my boss, he's in some ways, he's not very patient if you're here, but in some ways, he's really patient because I screw stuff up constantly because I see my numbers jumbled up or mixed up or backwards. And I've
Yeah.
always been that way.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like I'll read a question and once I get to the answers, I'll have
mhm,
already forgot the question.
right.
So I read the question again, get to the answers, and I forgot again.
Yep.
Like I'm if it's something I care about, like my mind cares about and likes, then I can learn it like quick. If
Yep.
if it doesn't care about it, I have to like try to force it to hold information like temporarily because it won't hold it for a while.
Yep.
But
I'm the
yeah,
same way, man. When I was in school, they had to learn me things through music because I naturally I could just do music. I could play drums. I had the rhythm. I was obsessed with it. It's like, and so everything they would, if they would get good music to teach me with, I'd pick it up like super fast. But if they
yeah,
just wanted me to learn like everybody else, sit in the classroom and it's quiet and be still, and the teacher says it and you're supposed to remember it, that never worked.
yeah. No, I'm. It's the same way. Like I have to literally every night, like be mentally and physically exhausted before I can fall
Yeah.
asleep because my mind is just racing constantly. Like
Yeah.
there's 1,000 things going on, and like I can't even sleep because of it. Like at
Man, dude.
times it's helpful at times, but then
Yeah.
other times it's tormenting.
We may actually be kin, dude, because I am exactly the same way. I have a really hard time sleeping because my mind just goes and goes and goes and goes. But I also worry a lot. Mine ain't just thinking, mine is worry
Yeah.
a lot of times. Um, Let me read a couple of these. Mission Discover says, "Hey y'all, planning on popping in after dinner if that's cool with y'all. It's cool, and you're gonna be able to come in on video and ask him about that spear thingy." Um,
Thanks, Phil and Herbert and Ozark.
oh, you can see all that.
Yeah, I'm on StreamYard. I have the comments pulled up.
Oh,
I
okay.
know I know it's delayed on here quite a bit compared to like if you're on YouTube chat, but it
Yeah.
does pull them into here.
Okay. Phil says I have more respect for someone who goes back.
Well, it started. I was thinking about college, but I decided to hold off on college for a couple years and uh, do YouTube and then work as much as I can, and then do college.
Okay, Scooter just popped in, boys. Hey, Scooter, what's up, man?
What up,
Scooter,
Scooter?
we got to get a time together, man, where we go fishing or something. So email me or something. Tell me what days, evenings or weekends you're free, and all that stuff.
Also,
'Cause I'd
I
like
want to
to
clarify: this is not Yingling. This is water with a slice of lemon. I my
show it
friend
again. Okay.
I was at a bar right before I joined the live stream. My friend wanted to get chicken wings. There's a 50-cent chicken wing night here, which is an
Oh,
absolute deal. For a dozen his wings, he got a dozen, I got a dozen. and two little things of ranch, and then the waters. It was 1160.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, you can't beat that. And then
No, man.
they have ice cups they give out. So I brought that home.
Yeah, I went to Dairy Queen and got a meal about this big with a few popcorn shrimp and fries
Expensive.
and a tea, and it was almost $12.
Yeah.
It should have been
Yeah,
about $4.
it's everything is expensive. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm kind of glad with the diet I'm on because if I was still eating carbs, I mean, it takes so much money. Um, what's up, hunting and stuff? I've been all right, been doing a lot, but mainly planning a lot. I've spent a lot of time in my head planning stuff recently,
yeah.
but
So my second question, you kind of answered it. It says, "Are you full time? Are you a full time YouTuber?"
yeah, I mean, for like 7 years now, I have been. Uh, but recently, I mean, if you go on my channel, you notice, I mean, I haven't been consistent. I,
Right,
it the views have been lower because of that, because I haven't been consistent. Uh, but I know the reason why I slowed down, and it's because I leaned too much on YouTube and I started to rely on it for income.
yeah,
Like it got slower, so I really relied on it, and that started to like take from my creativity. So
right,
that's why I want to get a job that I can rely on for income, so I don't have to worry about income on YouTube because
right.
that like takes from my creativity when I have to, you know,
You're
like
forcing it.
I rely on it for income. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to
It's
like turn into just an unlikable person. Like I change. Like I don't want to change. So if I have a job, I'm still going to be doing YouTube, and I'll probably be more consistent than I have been for like years now, and I'll probably be happier. So yeah,
right. I
that's
agree with you. There's one person in particular that I've been watching for a few years, and I loved his channel so much. And then he got so busy doing advertisements for so many companies and just trying to push out the videos and push them and push them and push them, and it got to where it wasn't interesting to me anymore. It wasn't enjoyable very much.
yeah.
And so I
I
know what you're talking about, and it was
I was like
because
that. I mean, I was like that a couple of times. Uh, it was times when I needed, the extra income, but
right,
even then, when I needed it, it still felt like, I was being like a sellout, and I didn't like that. So,
yep,
it's cool. Like for me personally, being the YouTuber that gets the stuff sent and all that, like to me, it's awesome. It's cool. But then I think about, if I was the viewer and
right,
you don't get any of that, but you're watching the YouTuber you watch, and it's just stuff that they're sponsored by. I don't know. Not to say I'm not going to still do sponsorships, but there was a time where I did like a lot of e-bikes, like in a close range, and then I
uh-huh,
did uh, a lot of battery packs, which I really enjoy doing, like comparing all of them. But I could see how it
hmm,
gets to where like upsetting to see
yeah.
so much of it. But
Well, that's what the guy I watched. He finally realized and apologized to everybody. He's like, "I'm gonna have to stop this because it's." And he said the same thing. It was hard because it was paying his bills,
yeah,
but he wasn't enjoying it as much, and he knew that the viewers wasn't enjoying it as much. So
because
he,
without sponsorships that I get from companies, I mean, I'd have like nothing. You
right,
know, it really is that big of a difference, like with sponsorships. Where it used to be, I made enough just from ad revenue that I was fine without doing the sponsorships.
hmm,
But then it got to where, one sponsorship would cover, like my expenses for a month. So I was
right,
like, tough spot. Like I still keep getting emails, from companies, and there's a few I'll be working with, but you know, just I finally understood that like if I was a viewer watching me, it would be upsetting. So
hmm.
yeah.
Okay, next question. This one I've heard a lot of people talk about this one. It's probably I would say the most common question I've heard is how did you become so successful so fast and so young on YouTube?
So for me, it was kind of really it was luck. It was luck for me. Uh, all the algorithms lined up basically at the same time. And what happened for me specifically was I used to be a trapping channel. All I did was trap. And I hit 70 subscribers. And I was like, what can I do that's special for my 70 subscribers? Because that's what I had from trapping videos. I never did camping before this on my channel ever. It was all trapping before that. Well, I did that video, and there was time that went by. I camped in a blizzard. I called it a blizzard when I was younger. It was more like a lake effect snowstorm. And I was, in the video, I'm like a stone throw from the house because my parents wouldn't let me go any farther.
Right.
And it's me looking at it now, it's like silly, but at the time, that was pretty serious to me. That's why it was
Yeah.
for the 70 subscribers. And basically, YouTube got a hold of it and pushed it a little bit. And then someone seen the video that was on Reddit and they posted it on Reddit. Well, it absolutely blew up on Reddit. It's still like on the top list of all time of like most upvoted videos on Reddit.
Wow. That's crazy.
And then that was the first wave. Well, then some time went by. YouTube got a hold of it because Reddit was pushing it. Then YouTube pushed it and it was on trending, number 1 or something, or 2 maybe. It did that for like a day or 2. And then YouTubers got a hold of it and made videos on it. And the YouTubers that did it, their videos blew up. So it was kind of like this chain reaction. I had no idea that was going to happen. Even when it happened, I was like clueless. Like, I didn't know if I should have been excited or like what was going on. There's video. I will have a video out eventually on an anniversary of it, and I have videos and footage and screenshots and pictures of me when it was going up. I had the subscriber count, the live thing on my TV, and I was watching it for like days, and it didn't stop. It just kept doing that. And that is the thing though. Like, I almost hit 600,000 subscribers. I was right under 600,000. Well, the past like 2 years, I've lost like 40, 50,000 subscribers, which I completely understand. Like, I don't mind, so many people years ago, like, just because the video was cute or whatever, subscribed. And then that, took off. And now they don't know who I even am because I've grown up. So they probably see me metal detecting on a video and like, who is this? And why am I subscribed to him? But yeah, to answer your question, for me personally, it was luck.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's so many YouTubers that are way better than me, in my opinion, like with editing, with the content, with how consistent they are. But like, they never just had that like little luck of, YouTube pushing one of the videos or, a news outlet putting something. So, yeah.
So, okay. I started watching you. I don't remember how long ago it was, but I remember what made me watch. It was the only thing I remember watching. You were so young, for one thing, and everything you were doing was just, like you said, almost unprofessional.
Very,
Like
yeah.
the way you're recording and moving stuff around and just explaining stuff. But to me, that's what made it so interesting and made me want to watch, because it wasn't so critiqued and so perfect, and it kept my interest all the time. And even seeing you camped out so close to the house, I don't know, I just liked it. And I watched you for a while, and then all of a sudden you just were gone, I guess. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah,
And then the next thing I knew, you were older and you were riding on a train, and I'm like, what's happened? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to figure that out. And then last time you was on here, I went to go look, and I was still subscribed, but for some reason, my notifications was off, and I don't know why. That's
Yeah,
been happening a lot.
I noticed with a lot of people the notifications kind of disappear, things like
Yep.
that. With me, it's really cool. The video did a lot, and even though now I'm losing subscribers, and I have a lot of subscribers, but really I don't. It's just kind of channels that subscribed a long time ago. But having a video that big, and then the rest of your videos are a literal fraction of that. YouTube
Yeah.
sees that as like, okay, let's just not push this guy. That's basically
Right.
what they do. So like, I'm not upset because I have a core audience of a few thousand people that
Hmm.
have like always stuck around and like checked on the channel. Um, and I have had, some videos, mainly my camping, like winter camping, like those have done well. Um, but that was the funny part. It's just my channel, exploded over something I never really did.
Right.
My channel before that was trapping, and a lot of people don't like that. So I got away from that on here. You know, YouTube really doesn't like it. So, but it was just such a switch up on me. I'd only camped a couple times before that video, like ever. So,
Right.
I mean, it was just like I was shocked, you know.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. What did your friends and family think? Were they just like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, I mean, everyone was like, you know, wow, like what is going on? And it's funny because, you know, right before I left school is when my channel started doing what it did. Keep in mind, like when I was in school, I was 130 pounds heavier than I am right now, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was a little shorter. I got bullied. I mean, I had friends, but like, I was just kind of like, you know, I had my little friend group. That was it. The rest, like, I didn't fit in with anyone else. So, right as I was leaving is when I had a few thousand subscribers. This is before that video like really went crazy. And so I wasn't in school during like the huge, YouTube thing. I was
Right.
out right before it really happened. Well, I had a few friends from school that completely showed their true colors because of it and were like jealous, which I never have wanted anyone to be jealous of me ever. But
Mm-hmm.
they got jealous. They like started two people did this. They started copying my videos. Uh,
Wow.
kids that bullied me in school, they would message me and ask to do videos with them and like
Yeah.
collaborate with them, and I just ignored them all. So like, yes, as far as like friends, I have some friends that like I've always been friends with, and you know, it never changed me, so it didn't upset them that it happened because
Right.
I didn't
Yeah.
change. Uh, but yeah, I mean, as far as family, don't really have much family. Like, kind of a lot has always gone on with the family. But as far as friends, I mean, it didn't change a ton.
I had a friend in Oklahoma, and he was Native American Indian, and he actually played the Indian chief in Lonesome Dove. His name was Gene Sobo. Well, his family's very poor, and they lived very poor. And we were talking about it one day, and about when he got that role in that movie. And he said all of a sudden, he said he had friends he never even knew he had. People coming out of the woodwork wanting to hang out with him and talk with him and rub shoulders with or elbows with
Yeah,
him. And he said that that's the only thing he ever did in the movies. Everybody thought he was going to go on and become famous. And he said once they realized that was it and it wasn't going any further, he said all of a sudden they all started dropping off again. And um, so that
yeah.
stuff's real. I've heard people talk about that.
I'm glad I've always been smart with like reading people. Like I've always been decent at that because even when I was little, I knew like you know, just stop talking to me. Like, you literally, you're being fake to me. Like, you want me to believe you and then, like, collaborate with you after you bullied me for, like, 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but
Did you ever do that with anybody?
no.
Well,
No,
that's good.
there was one, um, and he started an outdoor channel, started copying me, and then he started wanting to do collaborations. Um, but I would have still been friends with him. He wasn't like real harsh with that kind of stuff, but like
Yeah.
there were personal things that I won't get into that he said, and that was it with that. But there's a few from school, that like were jealous over it, which I don't know why they'd be jealous. It's just kind of like I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
it
I can
it didn't
understand
change.
it.
It didn't change me, but like it changed people quick that I knew,
Yeah. I
like
understand
quick,
that.
like
Yeah.
like scarily quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny what it does.
Okay, so I just got a few more on this. Then we're gonna get into the more personal stuff about other things.
Mhm.
So, what has been your biggest or your favorite experience so far with your YouTube channel?
Um, I mean, like as a collective, like if you want to go by the actual biggest, you know, thing I've done because of the channel existing, it would be visiting followers in Texas. That's Jack's grandma down in Texas. I've been down there twice now on the train. That's kind of like a big eye opener, and none of that would have happened without YouTube. And I think like the biggest thing that I have enjoyed the most is like the community and friends and just exposure to people that like all over the world that I've made friends with.
Yeah.
Like I have learned so much. Like if YouTube was gone tomorrow, whatever about the money from YouTube, whatever about the videos, like the people that I have met, would have never happened.
Yeah.
And I've already experienced so much. I've learned so much. I've met awesome people, and who knows? I maybe would have never even left Pennsylvania. I mean, I've been all over now to meet friends that I've met on YouTube. So
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing because it reaches past like YouTube life
Hmm.
and it like my normal life. It's just it's put me everywhere. So
I was saying a while ago how I liked, the unprofessional. I liked your videos when you were younger, but just like what you're saying now, that was one of the things that I really, really liked. You always seemed so genuine, and you always seemed so kind, and still today you do. And even before we went live, I was like, "Oh, well, hopefully somebody will show up. There ain't no," and you're like, well, it'll stream later, right? And it's like you just kind of was looking more at the positive, where I'm the one that looks at the negative most of the time.
well, you could ask my mom. I'm usually pretty pessimistic with things, but like it's just so I don't overhype myself for something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I appreciate it. Like I try to be nice. Like with me personally, like if I said something mean to someone, like I've done it in the past. Like it haunts me
Uh
until
huh.
like I like settle it with someone, or I mean I'll
Right.
get so worked up over it. You know, like I have friends that can just like fight people, like get in fist fights, and I'm like, yeah, it makes me weak, but like I do not like confrontation either. Like
Yeah.
confrontation is one of the things. Like I get so stressed out over it, like yelling or any of that stuff. So
Hmm.
that's part of why, because I avoid like that. But I don't know. I've just always it's I've witnessed so many people being negative, like mean, not just negative. And
Yeah.
it never gets them anywhere. It like it never does anything good ever.
I'm telling you, dude, we're so much alike. It's weird when I hear you describe it because I've tried to describe myself to people, and most people don't understand it. It seems like um, I'm not a real positive person most of the time. I wish I was, but I am very. I think the word's empathetic.
Yeah.
I'm extremely empathetic, and man, I cry so easy. If I'm just, I don't know. There's been times where even at work now, I'll get into it with one of my coworkers or something, and I'll just like, and it's like 10 minutes later, I'm just like you said, I just feel the guilt, and I just feel so sorry
Yeah.
for them, and I'm like, they so didn't deserve that.
And it's not to
But I,
say it's not to say I'm perfect because I have definitely been bipolar at times.
yeah,
And
oh, me too.
right
But I
right
always go back and apologize normally and try to
right
make it
right
right.
after that swing, I'm just like immediately like completely upset because it
Hmm.
wasn't me. Like it just wasn't me.
Yeah,
But
I'm
no
with you, man. So, what's been your worst experience? Oh, here, let me put something up right here. I'm a fighter for sure. Some of my best friends as a kid were other kids I fought at one point in time. That's probably why I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps.
probably.
Another question. Have you had any weird YouTube stalker fans? That's from Ken.
um I'm sure I have some right now. I've had some weird messages at times. Uh as far as like stalker, no. Like I wouldn't say so. Uh
Not that you know of, anyway.
Not that I know of. I mean, I've had messages of people wanting pictures of my feet, okay? So, like,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and no, I did not sell pictures of my feet. Um, so yes, that would be a stalker. So there's
Okay.
probably more I don't know about.
You want to go ahead and show them on here? I'm
I'm
just
good. I'm good. That'd be $50, maybe.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, let's see here.
I've definitely had weird messages before. Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's another YouTuber I know real well. Oh, I say real well. I know him pretty well. And he's only been doing it a little over a year. He's a young, good looking guy. And he's starting to really get up there now. And he told me one day he gets some really, really uh, bad messages sometimes. And I know even when he talks and tells people, here's my P.O. box if anybody wants to send me anything, and then he'll always say, "Please don't send me nothing weird," and because
You
just
can't
oh,
say that. You can't say that on YouTube. I
yeah,
see. I haven't had a PO box in a bit. Just because honestly, I didn't have the money, and I didn't. I stopped getting stuff in it. So I haven't had a PO box in a bit. Uh, because I don't want to put my address on.
uh-huh.
People have found my address before. I mean, it's not that hard to do. Like 30 minutes, you can do it for like anyone. But uh, you know, I never had anything like weird, which was cool because I never even had one of those like glitter things where you open a letter or a package and it shoots glitter everywhere. No one even did that to me, so I guess I was pretty lucky.
Yeah, well, don't be giving people ideas, man.
Yeah, I'll probably have 20 in there now.
Okay, let's see
I will
here.
open it. I will open it soon here.
Um, let's see. Woodsman, I think every once in a while I'll post the link if anybody wants to come in and by video and ask a couple questions. Nick would be good with doing that. The only thing we ask in chat and on video, anything, man, please keep it clean. Keep the language clean. Keep just the conversation clean. The only thing I ask, and I appreciate it very
I
much.
That's one thing with my channel, like I've always been happy with. With my friends, I swear. Probably more than I should. But like on YouTube, there's not a single video on my channel that has any swear word in it for like the entirety of my whole channel. Because I remember even when I was younger, like parents would comment and say, they put their kids onto my videos and let them watch me because they know I won't, swear, and like all the videos are clean and all that. So I've always made it a point to not swear.
Yeah. I appreciate it because I know there's young kids that watch with their parents.
Yeah.
And so I just want to keep everything clean. You're not going to offend somebody if it ain't clean, but you could offend somebody if it.
I find it.
You know what I'm trying to say.
I find it unprofessional, anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
like YouTube, anyone can see you. Like,
Right.
someone can click. Someone younger can click from a video, go to it, and I don't know. It's like in public. Like, I don't like the only time I do swear is with my like close friends, like with family, with like anyone else, not a close friend. Like, I just don't at all.
Right. So Adventures with Ken says we have royalty in the house. The Outdoors McGee.
Did you see Outdoors McGee's comment about the ice cream?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
Never going to learn if you don't try. Be kind but vigilant. I had someone email me saying they want to eat ice cream out of my underwear. The internet is a strange place.
My goodness. Woo. Well, that's interesting.
That's definitely interesting. See, I thought feet was bad, but that's worse than like, the feet.
Yeah. So the McGee, Outdoors McGee, he is the first one. We got somebody fixing to come in. I think Mission's coming in. Hang on just a second here. There's him. So
how's it going?
What's up?
So hang on just a second, Mission. So the Outdoors McGee was the first person I started watching that really he had me rolling all the time. He reminded me of me because he was so broke, but yet he just would go out there and have so much fun. And one of his videos that I remember the most, and I couldn't stop laughing. It was just while he's out camping, he had parked by the highway, and in the middle of the night, somebody stole his catalytic converter off his car.
While he was in it?
No, he was out camping.
Oh.
But the next day, he comes and gets in his car, and that thing was so loud. He's recording himself driving down the street. But that thing just, oh man.
They do that around me. I mean, they'll get one of them cordless, hacksaws or the sawzalls, and they're quick. I mean, they do it real quick.
Yeah. They did it at my work, but what got me laughing was him driving down the road filming himself, and he was laughing about it. And I just know his neighbors were like, oh, why does this guy live over here? It was so funny. Let's see. The McGee says, what up, Ken? Cheers, brother. Okay, let's see here. Hey, Mission. So I told him he's going to be coming in here to ask him about that spear thingy. I was going to let y'all talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. So I'll show you essentially what my progress is, and I know you've used some of this Atlatl equipment before, so I guess I was just looking to get some of your opinions on it and just talk about it. So I'll show you kind of what I've got so far.
All right.
So
his name's Nolan, by the way.
All right.
I have built 3 spears. I've fastened tips in there. I essentially split the ends on these pieces of bamboo, carved down these tips so that they're sharp and can fit in there, and then cord wrapped them really tight to keep them in place. And then I just have them cut to all the same length with the same diameter holes in the back.
Now, are those live or dead?
Well, they were live when I cut them, but I let them dry for a little bit before I used them, so that way they wouldn't change size and mess with my fittings over time. So they're pretty dry. They're still green, but as you can see, I'm not sure if you can tell. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. They're
Yeah,
kind of
just starting.
dusty. They're very dry. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think
And
about that, Nicholas?
What did you do a thrower?
that's what this is.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
working on this. So I cut this actually today, planning on carving this down into the handle shape. And then this guy, this little nub, is super close here. I'm planning on cutting it maybe there or so, and then carving it down so it's a little nub that can fit into those holes on the back.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
So,
yeah, you have to test it out. I mean, like the bamboo, like I know it's a pain making like perfect darts with like the cane or bamboo. It's
yeah.
just like, because like my native friend that does it, he like runs them. He gets cane from like down south, and he runs them over a fire, and then he runs a stone down them to like
Yep.
stretch them, and then it dries so it flexes. But with the bamboo and that thrower, I mean, it's the same technology, so you'll have to test it out and see the accuracy.
Yeah.
Do you have
It
yours?
should. Was it?
Do you have yours handy?
Yeah, I got my. Hold on, me. I won't be able to hear you for a second.
Okay. So Nolan, how long did it take you to make the spears?
Not long, actually. I mean, cutting them and getting all the branches taken off, everything generally smoothed out. Obviously, I still have a little touch-ups to do on everything, but that took me maybe an hour and a half to do all three, the whole process, cutting it down, processing them down, putting the tips in, about an hour and a half. And then it took me a long time to find a piece of wood that I thought would be appropriate. But then once you found it, I just cut it down, and I don't think it should be more than an hour, maybe two, processing this down into the actual thrower piece. I don't think I'm too far away from testing phase number 1. So,
Yeah. I mean,
What kind of wood is that?
I'm not exactly sure. The tree I'm not a tree guy, and I'm better at identifying by leaves than I am by bark. And this tree was already laying on the ground when I cut it, so I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't
There's
laying on the
Nicholas.
ground, but it was dead. So
these are these are like, they take a lot of time. Like they're pretty good ones, because I have a set of dowel rod darts, and they're a lot thicker, a lot heavier. They don't flex as much when you throw them, because like if you film throwing a dart, they should go like that in the air. But this is the diameter. I don't know the exact diameter, but it's cane from down south, and I don't even know the length of this thing when it goes. But they do that a lot. They'll have a foreshaft on the end like that, and this has sinew, or however you say it, what they make from like a deer or something. It's not focusing, but yeah, they wrap that around there, and they fit the foreshaft down in, and then on the end you got they're just copper points on these.
Okay, how far does that go into the bamboo? That tip.
Oh, on these?
Yeah, the tip you were just showing us. How far into the stick does it go?
It's okay. So okay. I'll do it from the side. So here's the foreshaft. That's that's to take all the stress. That's the point of the foreshaft mainly.
What is it made out of?
I honestly could not tell you. It's some type of stronger wood.
Okay.
It's like a dark. I wouldn't say dark red. It's more of like just a brown, real dark brown wood. But on the end you have the flat point, and then it goes in flat through a slot, and then this just has epoxy and sinew wrapped around the end. But as far as the ones you made, I mean, I can only imagine, the different combinations that they've made, in the past and have hunted with. I mean, as long as you have the technology, I know the one thing is, you'll notice how straight, these are. So I'm not sure, how the bamboo will throw. But you'll mainly have to test it out, and then you'll be able to tweak, you know.
How big is your thrower?
This is like a professional thrower. I did have one I was borrowing. It was just like a plank almost, and then on the end it had a little nub. This one's called the Mammoth Hunter.
Okay.
And
It's got that little ball thing on the end of it.
yeah, this one has a ball. It's kind of unique, and that fits right in the end of these reeds. But
Okay.
there's my ballast stone. That's right where it's centered.
What is that for?
It helps with the balance.
Okay.
It improves throwing like a lot. This one's like some type. I think it's just iron, but you can find these in fields off of throwers. It'll be just a rounded stone, and it'll kind of be like a rhombus shape like that. But they made all kinds. They made like ones that look like animals. I mean, but this just has leather on the end. This is more of a fancier thrower. I mean, really, it doesn't take much. You know, like once you have a set that's tuned, then I'm not sure like with the bamboo, you know, just how flexible that bamboo is. Because the cane.
Yeah, it's stiffer than I would like, but it definitely has flex to it. As you can see, I'm flexing it here. And I have tested it a little bit just to see how straight it'll fly.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm using it like just kind of shoving it straight down through my hands, pushing from the back like the thrower will. But like it flies really straight.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll have to see how it works with the actual thrower once I get all of that done. But like right now it's looking good. One of the questions I did have, which based upon the darts that you showed, I think I know the answer. You don't think I'm going to have to like fletch these, do you?
I mean, the fletching really does help. I mean, as far as like being accurate, it's not needed. You know, I'm not sure what that set, if you'd be able to throw it. You know, if you throw with the fletching on and it starts to go a little weird, it will straighten out. I'm not sure with those, like if you throw and it slips a little bit, if it's going to go sideways, or, you know, it's not technically it's not needed. I mean, it's kind of really, you've got your leverage and then whatever you have on there, you're throwing. I mean, for a traditional set, I mean, like a lot of people that do like professional throwing, they'll have these cane darts, because they're super straight and they flex like a lot, and then the length of them. But I mean, honestly, I'm not like a professional with it. I just like do it as a hobby. So I can't tell you honestly if it's, you know, you'll just have to throw them and like, tune it from there. I mean,
yeah. I mean, my main goal with it was to see if I could just make one, which obviously people back in the day made one, but I haven't seen much content on people making one, especially making one if they haven't done it before. I'm just kind of doing experimentation, like seeing, can I actually, with minimal experience, make one? And so far it seems like I can. So
yeah, I mean, I've seen sets, you know, you can get within a range of something. Like these ones. Okay, best way to put it is like if a dart is this fine tuned and set up like this, or even one of my dowel rod darts, if I have the muscle memory using this thrower, I can get it to the exact spot every time. You know, the dart's set up well enough that if I have the muscle memory to throw the exact same way, it will hit that exact same way. Because like with these darts, what I do is I kick a milk jug like in front of me, and as it's in the air, I'll hit it, and then I'll kick it again, like as hard as I can, and then as it's still kind of rolling, I'll throw another one, and it's like right on. So really, it doesn't take much to get a dart that you could throw far, but to get it accurate is what all the fine tuning is. The fletching and the really straight cane. But like, you should be able to throw those pretty far.
Yep.
I mean, and then you could try to, you could always add feathers if it is a huge difference.
Yep.
I mean,
I have some big, like 6-inch turkey feathers in the basement that I could always try and fletch them with.
I noticed a lot, like the native darts I see, because my friend actually hunts with them. Obviously, I can't hunt with them because it's illegal. But on the reservation, they hunt with these atlatls. And I noticed with the feathers, they'll actually put them on. I've seen some that run like backwards, like around to where this was. So there's so many different ways to make these. What's cool about these ones, if you look him up, his name's Gary Fogelman. I met him last year at our artifact meeting, but he makes these darts, and on the end of these are his scores. He's like a professional atlatl thrower. He has all of his scores written down. So these are the ones he used during his like professional tournaments. And then he put his name on here because this is one of his throwers he used all the time. But what I find really cool is, before the bow, this is what they used, like widespread. And the points that I find around here, a lot of people think arrowheads are arrowheads. Like if it's in the shape of an arrowhead, then it's an arrowhead. Well, there is so much to that. Like an arrowhead, like for an arrow in a bow, they're like that big. I mean, they're really not that big. But if you find one a little bit bigger, and there's certain styles you can like compare, and you can find them online, but you find a little bit bigger of one, maybe a little bit more elongated, that would be on a dart, one of these darts. And then if you find a decent sized one, that's like a blade or something. But the arrowheads that I found literally right behind my house here on a hill, they would have been off of a dart. So they would have been hunting with an atlatl walking up these hillsides from the creek. But I don't know. I find it really cool. It's weird with me because like I have never been into bow and arrow, and I'm still not into bow and arrow. But with this, it's just so interesting. I like the accuracy is crazy with some of these sets because I'm standing up here just outside my window. We have a super long field, goes all the way down, and I seen a rabbit down there. So I was like, okay, just to gauge if I can get close to the rabbit, I will throw. So I kind of aimed like way up and launched it downhill. Landed right on the rabbit. So, like, they're very accurate. And, like, when natives would go into war, they'd fight. Some were able to hang under a horse and sling them. Like,
wow, man.
And you could get, I can hit a bottle cap. Not 100% of the time. But if I don't hit it, I can get within like an inch. And I've only been doing it for like 2 years now. It hasn't been long. But
Hey, Nolan, you just rode your first horse not long ago. You could ride up under it and throw that thing.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like that's like past second lesson stage. I documented my first experience. I feel like second experience coming in saying, "Can I hang under a horse and throw my atlatl from underneath the horse?" I feel like they'd look at me like I have like 8 heads. So
it's cool. Like when I first did it, I struggled to just throw straight, like just like a launch. I'm gonna actually start doing quite a few atlatl videos because, like you said, there are some videos, but not enough in my opinion. Like I find it very cool. I've done a few videos on it, and my archaeological society, we do an atlatl golf every year, and we just go around a course, and you got to get it into a hula hoop or through something and land and hit something. But I want to do like some actual videos. I don't know if I could build one, and it does well. I might have to try for a video, but like I used to have, a hard time throwing just like this, but now I actually, if I have to do it straight up in the air and straight down to hit something, I can actually sling it from the side like this. You just have to keep tension here, but I could do that and kind of flop it and it comes right down. Or like I practiced, not that I'm ever gonna fight someone with an atlatl that I know of, but like I sat down and crouched and kind of laid on my back and did it over my stomach, and it's still super accurate. I mean,
Man,
it's
that's
really
pretty
impressive.
amazing, actually.
I mean,
Yeah.
you try to throw one of these, and you can get it decently far. Like when I've had people try the atlatl, like I have them throw it by hand first. Normally they want to throw it by hand first just to see.
Yeah.
And if you push it on the back here and you kind of do a little jog and then throw, it goes far. Well, if you use the thrower, I can get this from here all the way to the woods, and I am way across the field.
Like how many yards?
Oh man, I don't even know. I honestly don't know. Like I'd tell you, but
football field.
No, you can get one of these over a football field.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Usually I don't throw it full force because I have snapped them before. What happens sometimes, and this happened a few times, but I only broke one because of this. What happened was I was doing kind of like whenever they throw those javelin, I think it's javelin, right? And they do like that stomp kind of run and then throw.
Yeah.
I do that when I want it to go far, and then I launch it. And what happened was I did so much force, sometimes the dart slips off right as you throw.
Yeah.
Went like this. My arm's going full force. This hits the ground, and I snapped it right in half right here with the thrower. So, yeah. These darts, like, for example, like, if you're to buy, like, atlatl darts or a set, like, these darts are $25 a piece. But they're 25 because, he's used them quite a bit. And this thrower was like, I think 80.
Oh, wow.
But it's really used. But the atlatl market is very small, okay? Like, there's probably only like 3 of these in existence. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's like archaeology. Like, my historic groups that I'm in, I am the youngest person by like 40 years.
Right.
And there's a lot of people in there, but things like this, most people just don't get into. But I find it important because if you were in the woods and you had nothing, and you could find a creek bed, and you could find some flint or chert, and you know how to flint knap, and you know how to make one of these, you could hunt deer.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
That'd be
take a deer
cool.
down. Yeah.
I'd like to see somebody do that. I have to get Woodsman to make one. He goes hunting a lot.
My friend actually practices. He makes bird points, the really tiny arrowheads, and dart points, and he'll make those real small, about the size of a dime, some of them, and you'll just have a little dart, and he hunts grouse, pheasant, he'll kick them up and hit them right out of the air with that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're super accurate.
Hey, Nolan,
What's going on?
do you have something else you're going to show?
No, I'm gonna just work on carving this behind the scenes as I'm listening, I suppose. So
Okay.
mostly just taking
cool.
off the bark so I can let it dry a little bit while we're on vacation this weekend.
Yeah, that's pretty big compared to what he had.
Yeah, I'm gonna carve down this handle a lot. I wanted something big and blocky that I could take a lot of material off and make it into the shape I want it to be. So
Okay, let's see. So Woodsman says, what am I making?
I know, like with the Atletl, they're tricky to make. I mean, like, I'm sure Nolan understands that too. Like, it's just, most of the sets, the darts are made first, then the thrower's made, and mainly the process, like over the fire and tempering the darts, stretching them and drying them as you have them on the fire, even with the thrower itself, and then balancing your thrower to your darts and having fletching right. Like to have a perfect Atletl set, like this, I couldn't make this. Like it takes a lot of understanding of the balance, because the
Right.
balance is like everything. And that's the other thing. These darts are so long. I mean, this is like I'm 6 foot. That is like, it's like an 8-foot dart. This one. Some of them, they get north of 8 foot. But
Wow.
yeah, but that's,
I've
like I
never
said,
even seen one, and I never even
that's
heard of them until y'all.
that's why you have that foreshaft, though. That takes the punch. I have lost the tips to these just from throwing it into the ground. Sometimes they just have too much stress right on the end, and it just
Yeah.
snaps them right into the ground. So I have a few tips off of my dowel rod darts that I have, and I have to take my metal detector out in the field and find them, because I know roughly where they are, but
Right. All right. I'm fixing to ask you another question. Are you ready?
yeah.
Okay. Let's see here.
This one's a little bit bigger.
Hang on. What do you mean by bigger? Like thicker or longer?
The diameter of the cane.
Okay.
This is cane from like down south. I was only told down south. It's like a blonde cane pole.
Hmm.
Not sure exactly what it is, but yeah. I'll have to do some more videos on it, though.
Yeah, I would like to see those.
I wanted to start doing, because YouTube started cracking down on me doing target practice. So
Really?
yeah, I had slingshot videos taken off. So I
Why?
was thinking,
Dangerous?
because YouTube's just crazy now. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I wanted to start doing target practice with that level. I used to do target practice videos every Tuesday or every other Tuesday. And I thought of doing, like, on my mini bike, ride my mini bike through the field and try to hit targets.
Yeah.
I mean, I could try, I guess.
There's a guy that I watch. Of course, he's young. I don't know how old he is. I'm assuming he's probably like 16 or something. But he came up one day and he just builds these go-karts and lawnmowers out of, he just mixes all the parts, and I find it pretty entertaining and amazing. But he got a video taken down one time. As soon as it popped up, I went to go see it, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah.
And I
What
was like, dude,
happens?
what happened?
What
And he
happens with
said that,
YouTube? Yeah.
yeah, they got him because he didn't have a helmet on when he was riding his motorcycle.
Yeah. They
And
start
so he had,
to, once they find your channel and they find a video they don't like, they just must put you in the system, because there's been times where I have 10 videos. If I don't take them down, I'll get a strike, like, in a day. Yeah.
golly.
I think a lot had to do with my age at the time, and then they would get a hold and then just go through a huge group of videos.
Yeah.
But even now, like, even though I'm 20, I just turned 23 the other day. Like, I'm, you know, they still go over everything.
Yeah. There's a couple people I watch where I don't know how they do it, but they will play. They'll have a radio playing
Yeah,
and just playing song after song and video after video, and they never get strikes for it at all.
I used
And
to
another,
do vinyl
sorry,
records. I have live streams and I play vinyls. I plan on doing that again because whatever.
did you not get? You didn't get in trouble for copyright stuff?
Yeah, I get whatever as many songs as I play. I get that many emails after I'm done live streaming,
Really?
and yeah, they either want it taken down or they want to split revenue. Which by the time all this people split revenue, they probably get like -2 cents. But
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, YouTube don't like it, but sometimes I'll do lives and I'll have records playing in the background. And once I'm done with the live, I just delete the live stream. But
Oh, that's living dangerous.
yeah,
So, Adventures with Ken says I've seen a few people make those on Naked and Afraid.
yeah, my friend Zachary Fowler, I think he made one. He might have made one when he was on Alone. I didn't like watch the series because I don't have TV, but I remember seeing clips, and I think he might have made one. He won the One Alone season. Uh,
Season 3.
did he make an Atlatl?
I don't remember. I don't think he made one while he was out there, but I think he's made one.
Okay.
Like, I think he has made one. I just don't think it was during the Alone
Okay.
season.
All right. I know he made that like that little paddle boat thingy or whatever
Yeah.
that was. That
The reed boat. Yeah.
yeah. I plan on visiting him at some point. I was ambitious for a while. I wanted to do a survival challenge with him, but man, he's like a different breed.
He's busy all the time.
Yeah. I mean, and those challenges he does, those are like not easy. Like, when he does the 30-day survival, I mean,
That would be fun.
he knows like everything. And Greg, the Fowler's friend, I think it's Greg. Yeah, Greg Ovens.
Yep.
He's also like super knowledgeable with like everything survival. It is crazy. But I want to go up to Maine and I want to get a lobster or something with him. Maybe that'd be more up my alley, like a camp out with lobster or something. Because if he had
Yeah.
me on a survival challenge, he'd probably not be happy with me.
So Ken also says a cane pole is one of my favorite ways of catching fish.
Walmart gets those. I was gonna do a video. They've always sold those cane poles, like the
Yeah.
$10 cane pole, and then comes
Yep.
with the string and whatever. I was
I
gonna
used to
do
use those.
I was gonna try to catch a bunch of bluegill with one for a video.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for the idea. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm sure a lot of other people have done it.
Okay, so you've done so much exploring, going places, building things, finding things. I used to watch you in the early on, where you would just go out in fields looking for stuff, digging through the dirt, and I think it was arrowheads or something. I don't, or maybe you were growing things. Didn't you have a place where you were like growing a bunch of somethings?
Yeah, I grow ginseng. I spread native herbs. I'll spread all kinds of stuff
Okay,
as long as it's native. Um, I do a lot of like uh herbal propagation, just like all kinds of stuff out in the woods. Like it's
yeah,
forest farming is what they call it.
okay,
But then also yes, I like arrowheads, artifacts. I'll be going to a museum on the 3rd of May, right before I start work, and we're gonna be doing a arrowhead tour on that day. But like, I just love history, and more
uh-huh,
specifically, like North American history and
right,
anything to do with like the plants in North America. Other than here, I don't know anything.
mm-hmm.
Like if you put me in another country, I would have no idea what I was looking at in the woods. No. I don't know why I mean, I guess it's because I live here, but
Yeah.
Like,
It's kind of cool that you're interested in that stuff though, because that's not real common, I don't think.
I wish I had more friends that like, that were like close to me that did the things I like.
Yeah.
That's why most of my friends are like 60 and older because it, it sucks because I lose friends all the time.
Yeah.
That's the hard part about it. But like I learned so much uh from people that I like make friends with.
Do you get called an old soul a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah.
figured.
Which I'm proud of that. Whatever. Like I guess I just like interesting stuff. Okay. Like
I've met several what I would consider old souls if I'm thinking the meaning right. I've met several of them on YouTube, and I think a lot of times that's why they have channels on YouTube, because a lot of times they're more of a introvert, um, and they just I don't know, maybe they get nervous around other. I don't know what they're uncomfortable around other people, except for older people. It seems like it's
yeah,
really weird. I mean, kind
that's
of
how
cool
I am.
though.
Yeah, I mean
But
like it's
go ahead.
like I said, the only downfall is like I've lost, you know, really good friends already. I didn't even
Yeah,
know them a few years, and that really hurts. But
yeah, I bet.
like I said, everyone passes. So it's like people really enjoy when you listen to them. Like when I
Mhm.
talk to someone that's way older than me and they're telling me about things they've experienced and like things they've seen, mainly like with artifacts or like in the woods. Like that stuff just locks into my head.
Yeah,
Like it just locks and like I just remember all of it. But, it's I
I
guess
think it's
old
awesome.
soul. I guess old
Yeah,
soul, but like if I could only find a girl that was interested in that stuff. Like
yeah,
that's the hard part. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you know what? I saw a geologist lady one time that she was all into everything nature, but I saw her swimming too, and she was very bushy under the armpits. I'll just say that she was very natural. So, so here's my next question. Can you tell us a little bit about your most recent video? I think it's your most recent that I watched, where you were looking at like 1,000-year-old art at Three Rivers or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, it's
What is that?
Three Rivers, New Mexico. And
Okay.
it's not far from Tula Rosa or Tula Rosa, I think. Uh
Riadosa?
no, Redoso's on the other side of the Mescalero reservation.
Okay. Okay.
So you have Redoso, and if you go up through the mountains there in Redoso, you're going through the Mescalero reservation. You cross out of the other side and it flattens out again. If you keep going straight and turn left eventually, you'll get to White Sands National Park and it's called I think maybe Alamogordo. I might be wrong on that. But Three Rivers petroglyphs, they're not too far from White Sands National Park. And literally you're just driving on this flat plain. There were like dust devils everywhere. And eventually you'll see a little cabin. It's a trading shop. That's where I got this necklace. And then you turn down this road and you drive for a couple miles. You see this huge ridge and you just start walking up it. There's a lot of these big boulders and they have a patina on them. So just from being there over time, they have an outside layer and it's more of like a darker volcanic brownish kind of coat on them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember how many thousand years ago it was, but it was a certain group, natives, that they would chip away on the surface and they would draw, and they made petroglyphs there.
Uh-huh.
So there's 32,000
Oh
known
wow.
drawings on this entire hillside. So you go up on this big ridge, and they have a hiking trail that just keeps going. And it was pretty cold there actually because of the elevation. But as you're walking, you're seeing turtles, you're seeing rams, you're seeing suns, you're seeing spiritual symbols, lizards. There was a roadrunner carved, an armadillo. There was just so much. And you just keep walking and you just see it. It's everywhere.
Right.
But it's pretty cool.
So-
It was $7 to park there, and then you just get to walk it all day.
So there was one time you were looking at one of the, I don't remember what the drawing was, but you looked at it and you said, "Oh, that's new. You can tell that's not older." How was you
Yeah,
able
there
to
was-
tell the difference?
I think it was a bird.
I think so. Roadrunner
Yeah,
or
it-
something.
Yeah, it might have been another roadrunner. It just I might be wrong. I'm not a professional, but it just seemed way lighter. So like
Yeah.
you have the patina on the rocks, the original dark color that's been on them for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Then you have the drawings from the natives, however many thousand years ago that was. So you could see those two tones. Well, there were some drawings I would find that had the same exposure to the elements, and you look at them and they're like yellow, like bright. So some people have gone there and made art for sure.
Yeah.
Try to match it in. But for the most part, like most of everything I seen there was legitimate, art. There was some I seen where people would scratch and scribble, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, let me go on to this. Let me see if anybody's got a question here. Hey,
I just
Nolan,
caught you.
What's going on?
show me what you got so far.
All
You
the bark
did all
saw.
that with a knife?
Yep, just did that right now.
Okay. Okay.
So
It's looking good.
it's got a little bit of moisture still to it. So I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna let this dry. We're going away for the weekend. I have this shelf here with a wire racking, and I'm just gonna stick it in there so it can air out from all sides. And by the time we get back, it should be ready for me to keep working on it. Stuff continues to shrink as it dries out. It takes a really, really long time for wood to fully dry out, which I'm sure people like Nickolas know this stuff, of course. But
I'm pretty dumb. You'd be surprised.
well, but you're experienced in the field, so wood takes a really long time to dry out, but it's like an exponential curve. If you let something start drying out, it'll dry like 90% in the first day. It'll dry like 98% in the first 2 days. It'll dry like 99.8% in the first 3 days. So it shouldn't really shrink. Once it gets past this weekend, it shouldn't shrink too much more. So after that point, I can start working on it, making sure I know what the size of the little nub here is going to be, making sure I know how thick the actual handle is going to be, and I can start working on it knowing it's going to be about the right size.
That's pretty detailed,
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
So
So here's my next question, Nick. I saw him working in the background. I wanted to see it because it looked white earlier. It looked darker. Okay, so you have become really close to Native Americans or Indians or whatever people call them. How did that happen, and what draws you to them so much?
I think for me mainly it's just most natives I've met are so highly skilled, and with natives, the traditions and the items that are passed down, they stay in and are passed down. Like
Right.
my one friend, he has things from 600, 700 years ago. I mean, there's
Oh wow.
just from family, like it's impressive. So mainly it's the culture with them. It's something I really enjoy because it is North America.
Mhm.
It's where I live. It's where the history is. They were here a long time, and just what you can learn from what they have learned, from being here, it's just really interesting. And
Yeah.
I've always found, you know, the culture and, you know, what they believe in really interesting.
Yeah.
I've just always found it really interesting. That's one thing. But mainly it's just the culture and their understanding of regional things for certain areas. I mean, with gardening, with tools,
Hmm.
you know, with what they believe, just I don't know. It's cool.
You know, back in the probably the 80s and 90s, there was a Christian musician, singer. His name was Rich Mullins, and probably the most famous song that he was ever, or the biggest song people ever knew of his was called "Awesome God." But he became so, for some reason, so in touch with the Native American people. I don't remember if it was Arizona or New Mexico, to the point to where he didn't even want to. He was making so much money, and he didn't want to live like that. So he went and lived on a reservation somewhere with the Native Americans and started learning their way of doing things. And he still would go and do concerts, but he played weird instruments that most people don't even know what they are. But he also, people said everywhere he went, he was barefoot all the time. And all that started, I guess, after he started. Anyway, he ended up dying in a car crash. But I always found that he was so, not just a little bit into it. I mean, the dude was into it, you know. And anyway, I just kind of wondered why you were
I mean,
into it.
it you know, with me it's basically just the history that I am into is best taught by natives. Uh that's the main thing. You know, they know the most. You know, like my one friend, you know, there'll be reports that are out or things that they think are proof of something or and my one friend will be like, no, like in our collection with our tribe, you know, we literally have things that disprove that, you
Hmm.
know, from years and years ago. It's kind of just a main anchor point with everything I'm really interested in history wise. And, you know, like with gardening, uh, you know, things like that, Laddle.
Yeah.
I just find it cool because these areas were dominated by that level at one point. Eventually, the bow and arrow come around and it swapped pretty quickly to that. But I mean, it's just cool.
Yeah. I think so too. I love history. I'm not good with history, but I love it.
And that's the other thing. Like,
So,
you know, natives, everything to do with natives is very entwined with nature.
right.
You know,
Yep.
there's the
Yep.
Sky Nation. It's just everything is intertwined with nature. And most people now, everything is so easy and simple and set up that don't really think about nature,
Yeah.
you know, and we damage it. And
I
we don't
agree with
see it.
that.
We don't see like most people don't see it as like a companion,
Yeah.
but it's a big deal, you know. Try to.
Nolan, you need something?
No, I'm just hanging out, I guess. I am going to head out in a minute. And there was one thing I wanted to say about what you guys were talking about earlier, just because I have some personal experience with it about everything you were talking about. So
Right.
I know Nickolas was talking about, some of the videos he got taken down. And you were talking about some of the videos you got taken down. Nickolas said something about age. So I got some videos taken down when I was using knives when I was under 18 because they were like, okay, there's no express safety statement, and since you're under 18, we don't like that. I talked to someone about it at YouTube because I wanted to get some clarification and how you could fix that. And I continued to do it, and I never got another video taken down because I explicitly mentioned safety. I did it the other day with my knife throwing video, actually, just because I thought that was
Mhm.
something that I should do. Randy, I know you watched that one. At the very end of it, I put a little thing that said, see safety disclaimer in the description. And then down in the
Mhm.
description, I'll write a little safety paragraph.
Okay.
And that has never failed me to this point. I got 2 videos taken down for that, and since I implemented that, I've never had one taken down. If you explicitly mention all the safety precautions taken somewhere in your video process, even if it's something that YouTube doesn't totally love, they will allow it. And even if you're young, they will allow it. So if you explicitly mention safety and talk about all the safety procedures, then YouTube's okay with it.
Okay.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, because
That's real good to know.
Henry Rifles, they didn't want me to do a video. Like the one head manager just enjoyed my videos. So years ago they sent me a few, and they didn't want a video, but I wanted to make a good video. So I made one before, but it got really limited with how it was distributed on YouTube. So I was thinking of redoing it in a more professional way.
Yep.
And so I'll try that and, see if.
Yeah. You have to be really, really specific. If you guys are interested, I can, just so you can use it for your own channels. And if anybody asks, I can send you kind of the format that I've been using that this YouTube rep kind of recommended to me. I've used that same sort of format. You got to kind of express who this product is for. And a lot of times it's like, okay, this is not meant for kids without parental permission and supervision. You have to mention that or else they won't like it. You have to mention like, oh, there's first aid equipment around. You can only do this in certain areas. And if you mention everything super, super specifically, then YouTube is okay with it. So.
Okay.
Cool. Good thing to know.
Yeah. Because I know they just kind of, they find something and then they dig deeper and find the rest. And it's just like, it was like waves of takedowns,
Yep.
where.
I got 2 taken down in the same day, both because I was talking about knives. And at that point in time, I believe I was 16. So they were like, okay, well, you aren't allowed to purchase knives without parental approval or without a parent there at this point in time. So like, we don't even know if you're supposed to have it and all these things. And you have to make sure that like I explicitly stated, okay, this is, my parents know I'm doing this, all these things in the description or somewhere in the video that it was semi-obvious. I always put a little note in the video and then link it to the description where they can go look at it. But you have to make it obvious and you have to make it very clear, and then it works. So.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll do that next time.
Yeah, send it to me if you don't mind.
Yep.
Because I'd like to do my hatchet throwing thing, and I got those knives coming in.
Yep.
And so I'll probably do something. These glasses here, these are actually my real glasses, but they're actually safety glasses, but they're just my real glasses. I wear them all the time. And so the other day I was doing something. I don't remember what I was doing. And I thought, I wonder if YouTube will ban me for not having safety glasses. And then I was like, oh, wait, they look like safety glasses. So I'm sure they'll accept them.
Yeah, I mean, you see like in ads, like on TV where they're showing. I always remember this one car commercial where they're driving around this track all crazy in this car, and they're like, "This is a trained professional portrayal. Don't actually do this." And it's that same sort of concept. You need to state that, or else they won't like it.
Right.
So.
All right.
Well, I probably am going to head out. I got some stuff to take care of this evening before we head out on vacation. It was really good talking to you guys. Nickolas, thank you for your help with my addle stuff.
Yeah, I know some people that are really knowledgeable in it, but I'm kind of just a learner. So yeah.
Hey, we're all learning together, and you're at least one step above me. So I'll take it slow. I'll go to you, and then I'll try and work my way up to the big dogs. So.
All right.
Well, thank you guys.
All right. I'll see you.
All right, man. Have a good night. Thank you for coming in.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, so I did have like one more question, and then I was going to see if you wanted to show off anything, like your necklace and stuff like that.
Okay.
I just like that kind of stuff. But you lost a lot of weight. You went on a diet. What was the reason for it? How much have you lost? What is your goal? How much do you owe? There's your chicken gobbler or your turkey gobbler. Hang on, let me get a close up. Okay.
That's like.
Yeah. Well, yours ain't nothing compared to mine.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I've lost 130 pounds.
Wow. Wow.
Well, it's been over a year now. It's been a year and like, well, basically in a year exactly, I lost that. Since
Uh-huh.
then, I've been like, I haven't lost any. I've just like been the same. Right
And
now,
how
I'm
are
like,
you losing it?
honestly, at this point, I'm just not eating what I should. Uh, but mainly, I eat meat, cheese. For the first like 6 months, I only ate meat, and then I started adding vegetables back and cheese, and mainly that's what it is now. When I was in Texas, I had bread, blueberry cobbler. I had all kinds of stuff down in Texas not long ago, and when I got back home, I don't even know if it's been a month yet. Probably has been. Uh, Whenever I got back home, I weighed 220 almost,
Yeah.
and right now I weigh like 206, 205.
Mm.
Because I got real sick from eating carbs, so I just stopped eating carbs again completely. Here and there, I have had carbs, but I mean, I just don't eat much. So, probably this job I'm going to, it's a lot of manual work. I've lost all this weight from not much manual work or exercise. So I'm probably going to get really skinny. But I'll probably have muscle. I don't have much muscle.
What kind of work are you gonna be doing? Unless you
Uh,
don't want to say.
no, I could say generally, it's a huge factory. Uh,
Okay.
I was thinking of going to Walmart, and I'm not hating on people that work at Walmart or anything like that, but uh, I live in the middle of nowhere. Locally to me, the only thing is a Dollar General. They give like 10 an hour, but if I drive 30 minutes, I can get to a city. And the best job with no experience was this factory. So
Yeah.
they pay decent. There are benefits, with health. Uh, you know, I was nervous because I'm pretty broke right now, and I didn't have steel toe boots. But they'll buy the steel toe boots and everything for you, and the
That's
uniforms
cool.
they wash the uniforms. And another thing is, of course, I'm extremely nervous. Uh, but my best friend works there,
Oh,
and
that's good.
yeah, so they told me because I was inexperienced, they were going to put me on the lowest thing they have, and this was yesterday at my interview. They said
Mm-hmm.
they'd take like a week to call me back because they were interviewing 5 more people. So I was like, okay, I'm hoping I get in and I have to wait a week. Well, they called me this morning and said I was hired. And they didn't put
Awesome.
me where they were saying they were going to put me. They put me in a higher position and they put me where my friend is. So,
Oh man, that part's really
I
good.
don't- well, I talked to two main managers in an office, it was just me and them for the interview yesterday, and I talked their ear off because it's just kind of how I am. And I think they enjoyed me because that's the big thing with a factory like that is, if you're not paying attention or you're not communicating, like that's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in that factory, and so I don't know.
Did,
My first
did they
my first
know?
actual job,
Did they know anything about your YouTube channel?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's the one thing I've always been proud of. Like, of course, there's been times where I want to make a video calling someone out or something, but like I never did. And you know, there's so many YouTubers that they'll be cocky because they're doing real well on YouTube, and they're rude to people or they argue or they say something they shouldn't. And then when YouTube slows down, they can't get a job anywhere because a simple search of your name and here's a clip of you fighting with someone or
Oh wow, yeah,
you know. So I'm happy, like I'll openly tell anyone about my channel,
yeah.
because that's fine. So yesterday I was talking to them about it, and they thought it was pretty cool, you know.
I told
Well,
you I had one more question, but I have another. One of the coolest things ever to me is your little jingle, your little cartoon jingle. Who did that? Did you do that yourself? Create that yourself?
What, the intro?
Yeah.
No, so that is I think I'm getting it correct because it's been some years now. On Instagram, there was someone I was following, and they made like comics of like a forest ranger and
Uh-huh.
kind of like a old art style. And it was just like funny little things. But I loved his design, like the
Yeah.
style, the colors, like everything like that. So I reached out. It was Ranger Stranger. I think that's Ranger Stranger. But I think he has a different username now. That's why I'm not saying
Hmm.
because I think he changed the name.
Yeah.
But I messaged and I said, "Look, I said I really like your art style. Like, can you make me an intro? Uh, with your style, how you do it. Just I gave him a rough idea of what I wanted, and I paid, uh, and he made that, and that's that. But Ranger Stranger, I see if I can. Um, I want to change the intro song though, like the intro song on that. I'm actually gonna do a video asking one of my followers, or multiple followers can submit a little jingle they make to fit it,
Yeah.
and then I'll pick one of the followers that make it for the
Yeah, that'd
intro.
be real cool.
Uh,
So I don't know if you've heard my little jingle thing is like I think it's like 15 seconds. But my son actually wrote that tune, recorded it, ever instrument. He's a musician. He's an audio engineer. And I had went to him and I'm like, I want a jingle for my channel. I said I like. He knows my style. I said I kind of like the punky sound, but I don't want it overly punky. I want it to sound peppy and fun, and but still a little touch of punk. And he's like, okay, okay. Anyway, he made it. I loved it, man. And I've gotten lots of comments on it. One guy said the other day, he's like, "That sounds like Disney. Sounds like something you'd hear on Disney."
I'm I'm really not good with instruments. Like you can't see it, but I have a full setup for making music. But
Yeah,
I make rap music, which most people
yeah,
would not expect that. But like,
yeah. I
uh,
heard you talking about it.
yeah, I'm good with like that kind of stuff and
Yeah,
like beats like that. But like as far as acoustic guitar, banjo, like I am horrible. I gave
yeah,
my one friend, he loves playing instruments, and he was over a couple months ago. And I had this nice banjo in the corner of my room for a while with the finger picks and everything. And I was just like, I'm not gonna ever learn it. So I gave the banjo to him. Uh,
oh man,
but I kept my cheap little acoustic guitar. So whenever I want to play the guitar, I can.
yeah. Herb says, if you could go back in time to tell yourself one, can you read that?
Tell
Let's
yourself
see.
one thing at the beginning of your YouTube channel. What would it be?
Yeah,
Um, uh, I don't know. I don't think I would say anything. I mean, I don't know. Uh, everything to this point has been random. I don't really have any regrets. Uh, because that'd be something I could tell myself, like, so I don't have to regret something. But like, I've never, my personal life, it's been a struggle for a long time, but that's separate from YouTube. No one knows that stuff. And like, as far as YouTube goes, um, it's really nothing I'd want to tell myself. I mean, I don't know. It's
I
a good
mean,
question. It's a good question because like I don't know what I'd tell myself.
well, you're honest about it. That's good.
I,
I mean, I ain't saying it just to pump you up. You got a good channel, and I mean, even at your age when you were young, it attracted people that wanted to watch.
and that's the
And
thing is, you know, I just want to be consistent again.
right,
When I'm
yeah,
happy, I'm consistent.
okay,
And like I said, it's made it to where I've really started to depend on it because I'm getting older and, I want to move forward and, get a house or land. And I've been able to do that with YouTube. So relying on it and thinking that, I just have to do YouTube or I just have to do a job either or, like, I'm going to find a way now to do both. And I just know I'll be more consistent on YouTube. I'll be happier. I'll be proud. And, you know, it should be a good change. Most of it's just being nervous
Yeah.
over like leaving YouTube and like it's like I'd quit on it if I got a job. But I've now realized that that's not the case.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you're right. I think you're probably going to struggle a little bit at first, just getting used to the change.
I'm sure 12-hour
But
shifts. Yeah.
I think if you can stick with it and adjust, I think you're going to like the fact that you have some solid income coming in,
Yeah.
and you can put more enjoyment into your videos rather than trying to make money to
Yeah. Because
survive.
I really stress over it. Because
Yeah.
I want a future. I want you know like a homestead or something.
Yeah.
And but YouTube is it's just one of those things. Like certain channels with the content they do, like I could see I could get burnt out, but for the most part, it's not. I don't like the camping and all that. There were times where I'd camp and I didn't want to camp at all. And like, I know a normal job, you don't want to do it at all. But like,
Yeah.
you still go do it and you get that exact money that you normally make. Well, with YouTube, I would go through that hassle and do something I really didn't want to do at the time. And then it doesn't do well. So you don't get that income. So like, there were times where I really tried and did something when I didn't want to, and it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's just part of it. If I don't rely on YouTube for my main income, then it's back to like square one when I started. I never thought of money when I started.
Yeah.
And I just did whatever I wanted. Whatever I wanted to do, I did.
When I first started, which I'm still nothing, but when I first started, it was like, I don't care. And it was just fun, it was fun and exciting. And I kept telling everybody, I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for this. I'm not in it for that. And then I started I found myself getting more interested. I'm like, well, I mean, it wouldn't be bad if I'm going to do it anyway. It wouldn't be bad to bring in a little something by the time I'm old, to help with retirement or whatever. And then it ended up becoming a competition with myself. It's like, I got to get my views up. I got to do this, got to do that. And so I just started just going and going and going and going. Uh-oh. And anyway, I found myself getting burnt out and tired and stressed.
That's
And
like
it's like,
to me, like I've just noticed with me, like money is a complete corrupter of creativity.
yeah, it
Like
is.
it just I know
And
with
fun.
certain
Yeah.
people, like someone that's head of marketing or things like that, then they obviously like being real creative and they like the money part of being creative. Because that's what they study. But like for me, like it didn't corrupt me, but I felt it starting to like try to make it to where doing YouTube was just not fun at all. And
Yeah.
it started to be like that. So that's why, I've moved on and I'm doing that. And then I know it will help with me on YouTube. I'll be more consistent. I'll be more scheduled. Um, and I'll post what I want because it got to where the only thing I did well was camping, and I don't want to camp all the time.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't want to do that all the time. I'm not like
Yeah.
that. There's a lot of people that love camping, but with me, I like it, but it's not something I love. It's just kind
Yeah.
of one of my hobbies. But
Let's see, Herbert. Sorry.
I was just Nomadic said, hope you all have a good night. And
We'll see you in the Matic.
Top shop, build and fabricate, said Nick. Sorry. Oh, that's good. Next thing about is when you sleep, you're still making money for views. Yeah. I mean, that's the really nice thing about YouTube. Is like I brought this up to the head management I was talking to yesterday in my interview. I was like, real honest with them. I said, the only reason I want to work here is for savings, mainly. And I told him, I said, I have a YouTube channel, but I said with YouTube, I said, I'll get by every month with, what I normally do, my just, gas or whatever. And I can do it when I want, if I have a day off here and there, then I could do YouTube on those days. And I could just work it whenever I want. So it's definitely gonna be a huge change for me. I mean, from never working a job like that to doing that for 12-hour shifts. But I'm confident in myself, and I really think even if I'm exhausted every day and I have 2 days off, 3 days off, whatever, it'll make me want to do YouTube more.
Yeah.
Just because I'm already in like a tumble.
I think it'll take you a little while to adjust. I mean, anytime I got a new job, it took me a while to adjust, especially if you've not been physical and you're fixing to start doing a lot of physical work. You're probably going to wake up so tired and so sore and want to quit. But if you'll just stick it out for a while, your body ends up getting used to it. And I'm like you. I think you'll probably enjoy that feeling and have your
Probably.
free days to do the YouTube.
Yeah, like when I just sit and I'm able to think, that's the worst time.
Yeah.
I
think it is for most people, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I close my eyes and I see strobe lights. Like, there's just so many thoughts that I get so stressed out. I could be sitting there for 4 hours and it feels like, all day I've just been exhausted or I've done a bunch of stuff and I didn't even move.
Yeah.
It was just, all just thoughts.
Mental exhaustion.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like that. It's just one of those things, like, if you're doing something, then you can't really think,
Dude, that's how I am. That's how my son, unfortunately, is the same way. His mind just races like crazy unless he stays busy doing things. Mainly music. Music is what keeps him. If he can just work on his music, he does fine.
That's like me. I
So,
mean, yeah, I'm the same way with that.
do you have a few things to show us or no? I'd like to see your necklace a little closer.
Okay.
I
Well,
like that thing. Is that turquoise?
yeah. Yeah, so
Oh,
I'm trying to get it off my neck. The smaller turquoise beads, they are turquoise, but they're not natural cut. They're compressed turquoise, so they would get all the chips and all the dust and they compress them. This one
okay.
is a big turquoise stone there. But so I don't think it's gonna focus, but
That's good right there.
so these here, each of these
The
are
disc.
they're 2 silver dimes,
Oh, okay.
and they're concaved and they're put together like that, like a saucer. So each one of those, that's 2 silver dimes from like the 30s, 40s, 20s, even I think. And
Wow.
those are all down the side. It's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
It's
It
got
looked
some
like it
weight.
would be heavy.
Yeah. But I really like that. And actually, what I was going to start doing, once I have a P.O. box again, and I plan on, once I start working, I'll get the P.O. box with that money. Because I want to start sending out stuff to followers. Because I've
Right.
never done it. And I never did it because I don't want to use my home address as a shipping
Yeah.
address. So I was going to start making. I have a smelter. I can turn this on, actually. I have a smelter, and I can melt copper down or silver, gold. Not doing gold. But this is casting sand.
Yeah.
And my one friend on YouTube, Blake Hurst, I don't have pictures I could put on here now, but arrowheads that he found. They were arrowheads he did. He cast them into the sand, and he makes replicas of his points. So what I was thinking of doing is, if I have some time to go hunting this year for points or artifacts, if I find one in a video, I will then cast what I find in the video in this and make copper copies, and I could ship them out to followers. So
That's
I,
awesome.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I do too. That'd be awesome.
I think my desk is usually just covered in stuff. It is now, but here's my little graphite mold. I just did
And
a
what do you-
video. I went to a rummage sale, and they had 2 silver. It was like a sugar dish and a creamer, and they were sterling silver. They were 10 cents each. There were a bunch of resellers there that missed them, and I got them 20 cents for the pair. So I made a little video that'll be up, and I melted them down, and it was $70 in silver.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I was gonna
Wow.
start doing scrapping videos because I really like scrapping stuff. You know,
hmm
you can find stuff cheap sometimes, and you could scrap it, and
Oh
just like
yeah.
that, you've got what else is on my desk?
You know, I
Here's a drawing my friend did a while ago on this whiteboard. I was I was sitting on my bed like that, and he drew that. It's dry erase, but I haven't erased it. It's been like this for 2 years almost.
really.
Yep.
Is he still around?
Yeah, he's a couple like an hour and a half away now in college. He's been there for a while, but
Do you send him a picture of it every now and then?
I told him to get a tattoo of it, but we'll
Yeah.
see. Here is what my friend Leon made me. Well,
Yeah, I like that.
he made it for our artifact club, and I won a raffle, so I picked this. But they're glass beads. It
I
represents
like that.
the Sky Nation. So, you know, the sky.
Yeah.
And whenever I hold this up while it's on my wrist to the sky, this blue matches every time. Like if the sky's out, it matches right with the blue. And this is actually moose bone. I can't remember what part of the moose this bone is, but those little white beads are moose bone. But
And that came from one of your friends?
yeah, my native friend, he's the one that taught me how to throw atlatl darts. He taught me
Does
how
he,
to. Was it?
does he live close to you?
He's so like he'll travel all the time and teach colleges.
Oh, okay.
He'll he'll teach college classes. You know, culture. Um, it's kind of like an exposure kind of thing for college students.
Yeah.
Like what people go to be like anthropologists, archaeologists, things like that, or social. He'll take them
Yeah.
around, do stuff like that. But he's close sometimes. I know he goes to Canada or like reservations all the time. So he was just at my last artifact meeting, and I showed up. There's like 20 people at this club at the time, and on the porch he was something's in my throat. Well, he was standing on the porch when I got there with a giant boulder in front of him.
Yeah.
Well, this boulder was like 300 some pounds. He picked it up out of his truck by himself. There's a giant hole in it, not all the way through, but it's where they would grind stuff. You know, it's a
Right.
mortar.
Like corn or something?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what it was a long time ago. This guy stole it from the corn planter Indians, and I think he was an archaeologist, but he stole it from the corn planters. That's their group. Well, that guy passed, and his grandson found it, and he returned it to the natives.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
my friend was actually returning it to that tribe, and he, let us see it at our club. but it was this giant, I mean, huge boulder, and
Yeah.
it had the mortar, in the center. But
I've seen some rocks like that. I think in Arizona. I can't remember for sure. Where supposedly it was places where Indians had ground corn and all that sort of stuff.
that's what's really cool with out west is I was just talking to a friend earlier. I was in a Dollar General and I met my one artifact friend and we talked, and he was saying out west like that you'll find arrowheads just laying on the surface.
Wow.
There's like no sediment. It's for the most part it's dry.
Uh-huh.
There's no trees to make leaf litter or soil. The ground itself is hard. It's rocky. If it's not rocky, it's sand. So you'll find artifacts just laying out in the open there, like someone just set it there the day before. And they find those mortars and the pestles all the time. They'll just find them just like they were left. They'll see where the mortar is, and they'll see a stone set, a grinding stone on top. But
That's crazy to me that all that stuff's still out there after all this time.
that's the thing. Like here, natives have been here just as long, but we have so much sediment here. I mean,
Yeah.
just the grass alone. If there were no trees here, the grass alone would bury things multiple inches.
Yeah.
It just so that's why I have to look in tilled fields. But like out west, if you have a good area, you don't have to dig anything up. You just walk, and eventually
Yeah.
you'll find something.
I have a friend in Sweetwater, Texas, that he used to take me out from time to time. He's older than me, but he would just take me out, and one of his big hobbies was just walking the fields, and there's arrowheads all out there.
Yeah,
And
I
kind
mean,
of the same thing. He didn't dig anything up. They were always just out laying and on the surface.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Like my friend was saying, when you're out west like that, you just kind of walk certain areas where they were, and you'll see a flash of black on the surface, and you walk up, and it's more than likely an artifact. It's either a broken blade or a broken point, a drill.
Yeah.
I mean, anything. I mean, I've seen people even find arrow shafts. In some super dry regions, they find arrow shafts.
Yeah. I used to have a rock. I would say it was probably 10 to 12 inches, and it was oblong, kind of like not an egg shape, because it was kind of the same shape all the way around, but it was pretty flat. But it was dug out in the center too. I was told it was something. I used to collect rocks when I was a kid. I don't remember where I found it, but I was told it was something that the Indians used for grinding wheat and corn and
Yeah, they would.
all that stuff.
They'd actually have those kind of in like an ulu shape, not that much of an arc, but they'd be able to rock it and just grind back and forth.
Yeah.
And what my friend was showing me is most of those rocks that have a mortar on them or a small grinding rock, they'll actually have a line going out of the end of it. So you'd have your grinding surface,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'd have kind of a line that goes out. And I can't remember what he said it was for. I think it might have been just wear and on the certain way that they ground.
Yeah.
But there's so many things you could tell. I mean, there's been artifact sites I've been told about and I've been shown, and they do a top-down dig, like a professional dig. I've only done it twice, but you grid out a square, you have a grid map, and you dig from the top down.
Yeah.
It takes forever, but you grid out exactly where things are. They've found it before where they're on kind of a mound in the woods, not like a small mound, but like a knoll, just where it's a little bit higher, and there would be like a rock there, you know, like a rock that's been there for a long time that you could sit on. They'll dig under it, and you'll see where someone was sitting on that rock. You could see where their legs would be when they sat there, because
Uh-huh.
there'd be no flakes, you know, like what they chip off when they're sharp, you know, they're making points.
Right.
You could see the outline of their legs, where
Hmm.
on the ground there's flakes here, piles of flakes here, piles of
Yeah.
flakes in the center, but you could see where their legs were.
Wow.
So
That's
that's
so
why it's
weird.
that's why it's important not to just go and just dig somewhere and just
Yeah.
shovel, and unless it's like in a river or something. But like when you have a site, you don't want to just scoop it up and sift it all, because you can tell so much, you know, from doing those top down searches.
Yeah. If you know what you're doing
Yeah.
and what you're
Yeah, it's
looking for.
they're tricky, but
Yeah.
information wise, it's worth taking that extra time if you have a good
Yeah.
spot, at least. But
Well, you got anything else to show us before we go?
uh,
Or is that it?
I just got skulls sitting around. I got this guy. I collect. One of the things I collect are prospector items. So like
Okay.
old gold panners, or
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It's a geode, and you see
Yeah.
he's got his little mine cart.
Who made that?
I don't know. I don't know
Oh,
who made
okay.
it. Down in Texas, I found this, and I knew exactly what it was when I seen it. Uh, this was in the middle of Texas at a park I was camping at, and the hillside was like eroding out. Well, this is a fossilized, I think it's a giant clam or a
Huh.
giant oyster, clam or oyster, but that's the shell part
Yeah.
of part of the shell.
So
My
that's
one,
like a fossil.
yeah, yeah,
You-
that's a mineralized shell. So
Have you found much petrified wood?
I have petrified wood. I've never found any though. We don't really have that here.
Okay.
Um, I know out west there's a lot.
Yeah.
It's, my friend gave me this bottle.
Okay. I like that
So
too. Is that Benjamin?
it is Benjamin. Yeah,
Okay.
I wish there were Benjamins in it, but you know, what else do I got here? Here's an incense burner I got from New Mexico. It's a little hut that
Oh
they bake
yeah.
bread in.
Yeah.
I thought
That's
that was
pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah. Oh, here's something random. Here's a Pokemon.
Okay. Well, I
I
don't suppose you dug that up.
I did not dig that out. No. What else is on my desk? Oh, there's something. This is the book I checked out today at the library.
Wallflowers.
It's a wildflower guide. I
Yeah.
have some guides, but this one has some really detailed drawings. But
Okay, so answer me a question. Why would you check that out rather than like using your Google thing to take a picture and it tell you what they are? What's you
I don't know. It's kind of like a I treat books like this kind of like a flashcard.
uh-huh.
Like I'll flip through and I memorize the picture, and if I know what it is, then I'll really scan it and tell myself again that's what it is. If it's something I don't quite know, I just kind of skip it, and when I find it, then I'll research it again. But like I'm very visual with things, and I like being able to have like, you know, an illustration of it. But I don't know. I could go on my phone, but like I don't know. And those scanners, like I don't really trust things like that.
Yeah.
with
I think
playing.
books are more personable too.
Yeah.
It
This
just
is
feels more real.
this is more of just wildflowers. So it's not
Yeah.
super important, but like I just kind of I scan a picture, I look at the name. I don't read into what the plant is.
Uh-huh.
I scan the picture, read the name. So I remember that. So when I find it, and if I want to harvest it, then I look it up online.
Right.
Like, but
So Phil Byers says, Ozark guy Nick, thanks for the interesting evening. I have learned quite a bit. Nick, old souls are our future. I have always liked older people. Now I am one.
now he is one.
Yeah.
Well, I will be too eventually at some point here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already 23, so I might as well already be 80.
Okay, let's see here.
What's up, Brad?
Hey man, hope all is well. Stoked to finally see a live cat.
I can't believe how warm it was here today. I've been sweating for hours because I didn't put my AC in yet because it's supposed to cool down again, but
Yeah.
it was hot today.
Oh yeah. Even here, man, it was hot enough. It gets real hot here. I don't like camping in the spring or the summer because it's so hot.
Yeah.
I like camping late spring or winter. But anybody in here, if you have a question before we shut it down, you're welcome to ask in the chat, or you can. I was gonna say you could click that link, but I don't have the link anymore. I don't think. Let me see here. No, I don't know how to get the link now. Doggone it. Huh. What's your favorite fish to eat? From Brad Allen.
I'm gonna say crappie or crappie, however fancy people want to say it.
Yeah.
Uh, I like perch quite a bit
Oh,
and
me too.
bluegill. Walleye's good. But I honestly like I prefer bluegill, perch, crappie. Yeah, I that's the thing. Like this year, normally right now I'd be fishing like for weeks. I'd just be fishing because right now they're hitting. But I didn't even get my fishing license this year. Like I was so focused on getting a job that like I just planned on not being able to fish. So I didn't get my license yet. But I probably eventually will be out to fish.
Brad apparently likes. Do y'all call them crappie where you live?
What's up, Random Adventures? We call them crappie here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here they call them crappie, and they make fun of people that call them crappies.
Yeah.
But they also, from Texas, we had perch. That was it, perch. I never even heard the term
Perch
bluegill till I came here.
perch and bluegill, they kind of have, in my opinion, kind of like a sweet flavor, like just slightly.
I just think they taste really clean.
Yeah, they do. It's just like my friend, they just stopped at my dad's shop when I was down there and they had a whole cooler full of perch.
Yeah.
They just catch them on the bottom. The the buffalo nickel there, that's just a tin sign. Buffalo nickel's pretty much my favorite coin. So yeah, I have a buffalo coin book and I have the page of newer ones almost done, but the page of older buffalo nickels, I'm missing a lot of them. So I really need buffalo nickels to finish my book. Gonna make a video this weekend. Yeah, crappie.
Okay.
Crappie are really like I'll literally have dreams sometimes of just like a clip in my mind of my little bobber sitting in it, just slowly going down from a crappie. Literally, I'll have that like a short dream of that. It's like I really like catching them because it doesn't just the bobber just doesn't go like this. like what the
Yeah.
perch does or a bluegill. But like a crappie, I noticed if you're catching like the 16-inch ones, like I catch here, you'll just see the bobber go like this. It just slowly disappears, like Jaws, like Jaws got a hold of it.
Yep. I've noticed that. Well, here, real quick. Tony, Random Adventures. What's up, man? He says, I love crappie bass. They taste like butter to baked
Yeah.
potatoes. Alan said, Brad Allen, I'm going to make a video this weekend, hopefully doing a catch and cook. I can do half that. I can cook. I never catch anything.
I did a crappie catch and cook a couple years ago. I camped with my big tent, and I think I just pan fried them.
I did one, I think last summer, but it was just like 2 perch. Random says walleye is my favorite. What is your favorite fish bait? They're asking now, live or artificial?
Definitely live. Crappie, I do catch them on dead minnows, but like what I'll do, like if I was fishing right now, like I'd probably be night fishing tonight if I had my license. I'll go for the crappie with the live minnow. When that minnow passes, I don't just throw it off and get rid of it. I take the bobber off, because crappie won't really eat it off the bottom. And I take the bobber off when the minnow's dead, and I throw the minnow on the bottom. And I either reel in a big catfish or I reel in a perch.
Yeah, I was thinking catfish, probably.
The perch, I mean, you got to feel that line because, I mean, you throw it on the bottom. It don't even take them 5 seconds from once they get it in their mouth to swallow it all the way.
Yeah.
You got to be quick with the perch, but like, and then once I catch a perch or whatever I catch steals the dead minnow, then put a live minnow back on, put the bobber like 2-3 inches, and throw it out for crappie again.
The trout here, because before I moved here, like 7 or 8 years ago, I never saw a trout in real life, never caught a trout, anything. But when I started fishing for them, it took me a while to figure out which bait was the best. But the thing that was weird to me, and I don't know if other people notice it or if it's just, I know I ain't imagining it, but it seems like when they bite my bait, it seems like my bobber will start coming towards me. It don't even go under the water, really. It just starts moving towards me, and then I jerk it, and a lot of times there's a trout on there. It's weird.
Yeah, the trout. I personally like spinners.
Yeah, I like those too, but I've never caught a trout on anything but hour bait.
I know a lot of people use, a lot of people use corn, which a lot of people are against because they say they can't digest it. And then there's other ways, but I really like spinners because, I can go to a fishing hole and see all these trout swimming. Everyone else is there. It's so cluttered with people. Everyone has bait on. They're not catching anything. Well, on those days, no one's catching anything with the bait. You can still make a trout mad. Okay.
Yeah.
If a trout's not hungry, it's not hungry.
Right.
But you can make a trout mad. If you throw a big spinner past an angry trout 4 or 5 times, it might not even look the first couple times or try to avoid it. And one time it just gets mad. And that thing will snap. I catch a lot of trout like that. I can see the trout. I just keep throwing upstream, pulling past them. And eventually they just get mad and hit it. Like quick.
I've seen a lot of people here catch them on different lures, and I have never. I've tried corn, that didn't work for me.
I really dislike
power bait.
I dislike catching trout with bait. It's just I've never had fun with it. Just always, I do so well with spinners. I just don't really want to switch. With bait, you keep throwing. Most of the fishing holes where they stock trout here, the fish have seen all the bait they would ever need to see. They're stressed out if they were just stocked.
That's for sure.
you throw a spinner, I like gold, solid gold. I've used all kinds, but I just use a little. They're like $6 a piece for some of them, but they're worth it. I just use a little Panther Martin. It's gold.
Huh.
Some of them have feathers on them, but I don't really notice a difference. But just a little gold spinner, and I just got a little trout rod. And last year I caught so many trout. I can't remember how many I even caught, but the whole season,
Hmm.
same spinners. I lost a few, but yeah.
So Random Adventure says the biggest crappie bass I ever caught was always through the ice. I've never got to ice fish. I'm telling you, there's so much I hadn't got to do. I'm hoping to go to Pennsylvania next month to Random Adventures thing. It's like 17 hours away from me.
That's the thing. So I'm still waiting to I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it because of the place I'm going to work at. So what's nice is it is a factory, so I will be able to know ahead of time exactly for like a year into the future. I'll know when I'm open because it's
Right.
scheduled. So I'm
So
really
was you planning
hoping.
on going to that?
I was planning on going, yeah, but I'm really
Oh,
hoping.
okay.
I'm
Man.
really hoping that when I get my schedule, early next month, I have a day or two there. It's fingers crossed. So, yeah.
Man, let me know. I'd like to meet you. I'm supposed to meet Nolan from Mission Discover. He's supposed to be coming and meeting me. That'd be cool to meet people.
It's like a 4-hour drive from here. So like if I had that day off, I can't call it off, and I'm not gonna just because at that
Right.
point I would only have been working there for like 2 weeks. So
Yeah, you don't want to do
I
that.
don't I don't want to I don't want to mess with that, but like I'm really just hoping I have, be nice if it was 2 days that I had because it's a big
Yeah.
drive, but yeah. So I don't know yet. I won't know until like probably the 10th of May, the 9th or
Yeah.
10th. So
As of right now, I'm going. Things could change, but as of right now, I'm going. And a friend of mine was supposed to be going with me, and they had some family problems, and somebody got sick and stuff. So they're just not. He's not going to be able to go. I didn't realize you were going. That is really cool. Now I'm even more excited if you get to go.
well,
That'd be really cool.
like I said, it's a week of almost work every day. Then the following week, it's like half the week.
Uh-huh.
So when I had it wrote on my calendar. What do you know the day? It was
I
Memorial
don't.
Weekend.
Yep, it is. I don't remember.
I don't know if he's still in here or not.
Yeah, Random, are you still in here? Does anybody know the date for that?
Was it the 28th or something? Something like that.
Oh, Brad Allen says that was for Randy. What did he say? You have to go live your life and enjoy a crazy adventure. From Brad Allen.
Freezer Bound Outdoors. This is one I've gone to for like 4 years in a row now. It's in Clarion, Pennsylvania. It's another one I don't know if I'll be able to make. But a lot of outdoor YouTubers meet up there. We camp out around a pond. There's a fishing tournament. I won the fishing tournament last year for the biggest
Wow.
fish. Well, I had to outthink the game. So, everyone's so used to just fishing for the trophy was for the biggest fish.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, there's catfish in here. So everyone's, bobbers, spinners for bass, and there's big bass in there. There's crappie, but I wanted a catfish for the biggest fish. So
Yeah.
this was like 5 minutes left of the hour tournament, and I had a little power bait thing. I put it on a big hook, and I threw it out with spider wire. Wasn't even 10 seconds. huge catfish. The rod was like this. Everyone was staring at me like they wanted to drown me. And I pulled in a, it's like that long catfish. Like
Oh my gosh.
So I got the trophy. Hold on, I'm gonna grab it.
Okay. Phil Byers says, gentlemen, it's been a pleasant evening. Great live stream, even though I was driving. I'm still at first stop now.
Here it is.
Appreciate you coming in, Phil.
YouTube creator rendezvous. Largest fish.
That is so cool.
But
oh, you got enemies now.
I have a few. Last year, some weren't happy. So I think this year, if I can make it.
Yeah.
Really hoping. But
that sounds fun though, man.
Money's money, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just tell the factory, hey, I want this day off,
Yep, that's the part that really sucks about. Now, where I'm at right now, hang on, did somebody? My boss is really good about letting me off when I need off, and I have vacation time, but I got to save at least a week for my daughter and my son around Christmas. But like I say, right now, I've got a truck that I think first time I've had a truck in a while that I trust going that far, and I've got money saved, and so everything's looking good right now. I just hope nothing happens before it actually happens because I'm looking so forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting people like Tony and hopefully you if you're there, and Mission Discover, and I can't remember who else is going to be there, but I just love meeting new people that's from YouTube. It's always fun and interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Random Adventures, he's been to the other one I'm talking about too.
Yeah.
That one's just almost 2 hours from my house. I'm right up by Lake Erie, but that's more kind of down in PA.
Dude, it's like every YouTuber in the world is from Pennsylvania.
A lot of outdoor YouTubers are.
Yeah, I know.
It's just, PA, there's so much about it. There's so many different parts that are just like, I know everywhere's like that, but PA's cool. I don't know. I like it.
Let's see. Phil said, I can cook and eat. Randy, you know the answer. Byron's Baits is the best.
I catch a lot of, like 16, 17-inch crappie. I have a big ugly stick rod. That's pretty much all I use is ugly stick. And I have the huge like carbon rod. And I'll have a little, I like using pink or white with pink tails on a gold or white jig head. Small jig head with hook. And I will just jig the pole like that. There's these rocks that they dumped for this walkway that goes out into the water there. And it's kind of like a break wall kind of thing. But when the sun hits those rocks, certain time of the year, it warms it up pretty quick along those rocks. So if you just jig like that, you'll see the crappie, black and white crappie. You just see them. They pull right up out of the rocks, 2 foot out into the water. Oh. Take it, and you got them. So that's the main time that I jig. For the most part, I like using minnows for them, but yeah.
So I don't know if I've showed you before. I think I have this fishing pole here.
Illinois, not cool. Yeah, is that bait caster?
Yeah, that is the Lose Mock Smash is what they call it. Lose Mock Smash combo. And I've taken it out and thrown it a couple times. It took me weeks before I even strung it up because I'm real intimidated by it. I suck at fishing, dude. I'm terrible. I can't catch nothing. It don't matter what I fish with.
I'm good with fish that I think taste good.
Oh, I'm not.
I don't care about bass. I don't care about, I know you can cook bass and they could be good, but I am really I'm on a mission to catch fish to eat them that night.
Uh-huh.
I am there for dinner. I'm not there for fun.
Right.
It's fun, but like I am there. I want food.
Uh-huh.
So I'm targeting, just the panfish really.
Yeah, usually the only thing I can catch is the perch, and they're usually about this big.
The only fish because I like trout too. The only fish I fish for, like for fun, are catfish. I have a lot of fun with the catfish because
Yeah.
you can walk out on this walkway, it goes through the lake, and then you've got this like bog, like 4 foot of water in some parts, and it's all cattails and
Yeah.
beaver huts and stuff. You cast out with like a piece of hot dog or chicken liver, chicken gizzard, and you just let the rod sit. Not even like 5-10 minutes, you got a big catfish on, like every time. So it's kind of fun to reel them in. Last year,
Do you eat them?
I like eating catfish.
Uh,
I haven't kept any of the ones that I've caught because most of the time I have caught them, other fishermen were around, like guys that literally traveled from like Pittsburgh in reference. So for me, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours. They
yeah.
travel from there to come up and catch catfish. So every time I'm there, like I'll catch one, and they might not be doing as well, or they want as many as they can get. So I'm just like, hey, you want this catfish? Come get it. Because they literally, like, guys will get together and they'll come up to try to get catfish or crappie or perch. So most of the time I've caught them, I've just given them to people. But
That's awesome, though.
down in Texas, not this time, but 2 years ago when I went down, I had catfish that was Cajun marinated, and that was really good. Like it was like butter.
Never had it.
Yeah.
Nolan from Mission Discover, he eats trout a lot. I'm not crazy about trout, but
I don't mind the mud taste. I don't mind I like them with garlic butter.
yeah. I don't know what he puts on his exactly, but I know his breading was really crunchy. And I asked him, I'm like, what breading are you using? And it was something to do with breadcrumbs and something or other. I've never heard of it. I'm gonna have to ask him again because it looks so good.
I just if they don't fit into the air fryer with the head on, I cut the head off. Shove them down in the air fryer basket, upside down, so their stomach is open, so I could, and I have them jammed in the air fryer basket. I put a wad of butter, garlic, salt, pepper. Shut the air fryer. Put it in for, I think it's like 20 minutes or something, maybe less. And when I pull it out, the skin separates right off.
Yeah.
It's already like separated. And it's crispy, so you can eat it if you want to.
Yeah.
And then the bones just pull right off the meat. And then I put malt vinegar on it.
That sounds good. Making me hungry.
It's good. You get those little stock trout. I mean, those little stock trout are really good in the air fryer, and they fit in there. You just jam them in the basket.
The only time I've ever liked trout really so far is when I put it on a barbecue pit and let all the juices run out of it as it cooked, and it got rid of some of that nasty taste. But let's see here. Speaking of, there's not many people here right now, but that y'all mentioned Byron. Byron's going to be here next Thursday, y'all, with Byron's Baits. I went camping with him once. We did a whatever they call that. We went camping for 2 days, 2 nights. It's pretty cool.
I was out in the woods like a week and a half ago now, and I took an e-bike out there, and I had my metal detector. I was gonna walk to an old house site, which I did. I didn't find anything, but when I got there, I was on a field edge, getting ready to go into the timber, and I was like, it was like one of the first warmer days we've had here this year. So I was like, I heard like a bunch of flies,
Uh-huh.
and I thought just because it was so warm, all these flies were like coming from somewhere, something dead, or I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
thinking. Something dead.
I took like 5 steps into the woods, and I look up. There is a huge bee swarm right above my head.
Oh, wow.
It was all honeybees,
Yeah.
thankfully, but there was a little hole in the tree like that big, and it was just covered in honeybees.
Wow.
But I went into the woods there, not even 20 minutes, come back out. I had like 6 ticks on my leg.
Yep. We
And
got them all over here.
size is like the tip of a needle. They were so small.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walked in, I didn't hit any brush. I didn't go through grass, nothing. And they still got on me.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
So do y'all have snakes there?
Yeah.
What kind?
We don't have anything like super poisonous. Um, a lot of what you'll find here is like rat snakes or like just garden snakes or mainly water moccasins.
Okay.
Or
Those are
just
pretty bad.
actually not water moccasin, black water snakes.
Okay.
So they're not, I don't think they're venomous. But I know we have timber rattlesnakes. But those are mainly, we don't have them here. They're mainly like if you go into the like Allegheny Mountains area, there's a lot of rocks and things like that, and they find them there. But
There's a lot where I was born and raised. There's rattlesnakes everywhere. Matter of fact, the area I'm from has the biggest rattlesnake roundup in the world every year. But I moved here to Missouri, and it's copperheads here. They're, that's part of the reason I don't camp in the spring and the summer unless I'm going to be in a little tent that closes up all the way, man, because I don't trust them copperheads for nothing.
that's why I like hammocks. When I was
I
down in
got to have it.
Texas, mainly my problem has been since the car accident last fall.
Mm-hmm.
I can't lay on a hard surface. I can't like even sitting like I have to lean forward like this or be in something real cushioned and lean because right on I have like 5 bulge discs now.
Mm.
So like I have to be like careful with my back. And so the hammock, I was hoping it would work and it would be kind of comfortable. And it was. So when I was in Texas, I hammock camped. And I was off the ground, so I didn't have to worry about snakes getting me.
Yeah.
There was an armadillo, which keep in mind, armadillos to me are awesome because I never see them. And I was in the hammock. This is after I was searching for hours. I was walking all these nature trails in the middle of nowhere looking for them because it was
Mm-hmm.
almost dark. I figured they'd start coming out. Didn't see any. I ran into a family that said they seen one and it took off. I was like, ah. So I get back to the hammock. It's like 11 o'clock or almost midnight, I think. And I'm laying there and I look down just by my feet and there's this little armadillo like that big. And it's just kind of creeping up and digging through the leaves. And it
Yeah.
got like a foot from me.
Uh-huh.
And it was digging for grubs and then it took off. But I have it on video. That video will be out soon. But I wanted to camp there and I never did last time, so
I bought a hammock probably a month, 3 weeks ago, maybe. I don't know. It came in. It's still but my friend, he hammock camps, and he's the one that was going to be going to Pennsylvania with me. And I was like, okay, I got to get one, like it or not. You know, he even let me try one of his flat lay ones. It is terrible, terrible. I don't see how anybody. What I have discovered, most people that like hammocks are people like my son. They can sleep anywhere. They can fall asleep in 20 seconds after they lay down. But people who has a mind that just races and they're constantly flipping and turning, they don't like hammocks, and that's what I am.
so what happened was the company actually sent me this one, and they sent me an email a bit before I even went to Texas. And then I thought about it. My friend, well, Random Adventures 2.0, it was the same hammock he used that they wanted to send me.
Yeah.
And it's a double hammock. So it's super wide, but it's a normal
Yeah.
hammock style. And it has a mosquito net that encloses it.
That's what I
So-
got. Probably not the
so-
same brand though.
I don't know, but that was a saver because the mosquitoes were horrible. But it was wide enough that I was able to do, you know how like you cut from a corner to the other one?
Yep. Caddy
And that-
corner.
Yeah, that flattens it. And since it was wide enough, I laid like that and I was, completely fine.
I'm gonna have to try it because the one I got is a 2-person hammock just for that reason.
Yeah, you gotta
Oh.
if you just lay straight in it, you're like immobile. Like you don't have any like balance. It's not really spread out. You're just kind of like a banana.
Yep.
But like if you just move one foot in a certain way, like how they say online where to put it, it'll completely change it. I mean, it'll pull one side completely over. You could flip it. I mean, hi,
Nancy
man.
Drew says, "Hi, Randy, Nickolas. Peace, everyone."
What's up?
Hey, Nancy, what's going on? We've been here for a while. I keep thinking we're fixing to end it, but then we start talking again. Interesting stuff. Interesting to me, anyway.
I know when it's done, I gotta go get my box fan for my cabin because I am like,
Burning up.
yeah, it is so hot in here. There's no breeze in my window.
Outdoors with Dennis says, "Hi, Nancy." Well, we can go ahead and end it, man. We've been on here for a little over 2.5 hours. I think it went pretty good. It's definitely interesting.
Well, this was just the pre-live stream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to work tomorrow, though. That's the part that sucks. You'll have to worry about that before long.
Yeah, I will. I don't really sleep long though. I
I don't
don't
either.
know. If I go to bed at 3 in the morning, most of the time I go to bed at like 2, 3 in the morning.
Well,
If I go to bed 2, 3 in the morning, I wake up at like 9, 8:30, 9. I mean, it's
during the week, I try to get in bed by 10, but I wake up at 5:30 every morning.
it's like my friends. Like I don't know how they sleep so long. Some of them, like
Oh,
they,
that's
it would be
miserable.
it would be a challenge for me to sleep like 11 hours, 10 hours. I couldn't do it.
Dude, even if I went to sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to sleep till noon. I bet I'd be up by 7. If I sleep past 7 o'clock, it feels like the whole day is wasted. I don't see how people do it. Some people sleep till noon, 1, 2
The reason
o'clock.
I'm up so late is like I'm like I get most stuff done and I'm more creative at nighttime.
Yeah.
Daytime, not near. But the nighttime, so then I'm up late and then I'm exhausted just because thinking about so much, and then that's when I finally fall asleep.
Yeah. All right, dude. I guess we're going to go ahead and end it and call it good. I appreciate you coming on here, man.
Yeah.
And I hope.
I've had it on the calendar. I was nervous that I would have been working today because I was going to do it a bit before, but I'm glad there's a little bit of a wait so I can make it.
Yeah, me too. And I hope you get to make Pennsylvania. If you don't, I guess I won't die, but it'd sure be fun to meet you.
If I can make it, I will. But
All right.
won't know. I won't know yet.
Well, I know I'm just like one of 5 million people, but if you end up finding out you are going to make it, try to let me know or
All
put
right.
out a video, let everybody know or something.
Or if I can't make that one, I try to at least make the other one, hopefully. But I'll see.
All right, man. Woodsman says, awesome live stream, y'all.
Thanks,
All right, man. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna go get in the bed, get ready to go to work in the morning.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do the first part of what you said.
Yeah.
I'm pretty tired. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you again. I appreciate it so much.
All right. I'll see
Have a
you.
good one.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.